Okie dokie. And a good evening. Sorry, I wanted to be dramatic. Hello, hello. It is my esteemed pleasure to present to you all today a little 2-hour trundless look at the release version of Dread Delusion by the wonderfully named Lovely Hellplace. Thank you very kindly to Dread XP for asking me to put this little video together, as I fucking love this game and I really want to show it off to you all. So, hi, my name is Will. I am found on the internet under the moniker of Viking Blonde. It's a long story, I'll tell you another time. And yeah, and without further ado, let's jump into this. So, if by some quirky twist of fate, this is your first time coming across Dread Delusion, then it is my absolute pleasure to be the one to show you. In shorthand, Dread Delusion is a gloriously unique, acid-soaked, Morrowind-esque adventure. We will be playing the puppet plaything of the Inquisition, sent on impossible quests across strange lands and mushroom forests. And I'm really happy I'm get to show you this, because I got to play this in early access and I played a little bit of this build. So I'm gonna go through like the first couple hours and do my very darndest to not sneeze. Classy. Do you want an encore? Classy. I'm gonna do my very best to show you some of my favourite little bits of the early game. There is a lot of game to get to, so I'm going to do my best to try and get you to one of the best pubs in video games, but no promises. However, as with all great stories, we must begin at the beginning. Yeah, tell I'm not a writer. And no, I genuinely fucking love the way character creation is done in this. You know, one of the things that, so far as it was explained to me, the team set out to do is make a game with less busy work, more story. Less, give me 5 wolf pelts, more, what is the tale of your character? Who are they? Where did they come from? What drives them through this unhinged pink blood sun of a adventure? Alright, so, you know what? It's easier if I show you. So welcome to Beginnings! The world is broken. The surface is cursed, inhospitable. Those that remain cling to islands in the sky. In a dark, dank cell of an Inquisition ship, you ruminate on your past. And it's... what I love about this is that, yes, if you wish to, you could min-max this. But I love the idea that you build a character. You build a story. Very evocative of, kind of the classic Ultima games. You know what I mean? Anyway. So these are our choices to start with. You know, as dreams of childhood slip through your mind, was your fate sealed even then? Perhaps you were a brawler. The idea of battle captivates you. It always has. You started by smashing sticks long before you were clashing swords. There was never any question. You were a fighter, through and through. Or perhaps you were an urchin. Growing up, you were nobody. Just a malnourished child clogging the city. Without the street gang, you'd have died like the rest. They taught you to see what others didn't. To slip where others couldn't. They taught you to survive. Perhaps you were an apprentice. As a child, remarkable promise from an unremarkable family. Your parents sold you to a passing scholar. Your youth was spent copying tomes till your hands bled. But what you read, you did not forget. And last but by no means least, a noble. As a child of noble birth, you were dining with foreign dignitaries before you could walk. You learned manners and etiquette, but more than anything, tenacity. For the glittering halls of Rovina can be more cutthroat. Rovia. Please forgive my dyslexic ass, I will probably trip over pronunciations. Rovia can be more cutthroat than the darkest of alleys. Now, I've played a few different builds of this one. Again, this is more about building a story than anything. However, my goal this afternoon is to get you to the special pub. And I believe that our urchin-like self is most equipped to do that. But again, your background doesn't define your profession. This is where it gets fun. So, like, as your body grew, the mind sharpened, and for a while, you excelled. Perhaps you were hired muscle, like you could take care of yourself, and you were known for it. As the Slev cartel recruited you as muscle when they smuggled nefarious text or illegal potions, you were there to make sure things didn't go south. And when they did, you cracked some skulls. Perhaps you were a thief, and thievery came easily. Your picks danced through locks with a lover's touch, and you stole spells from scholars and treasures from skyships. The city was yours, and its doors wide open. Perhaps you were a lawbroker of the Apostic Union, and again, apologies if I pronounced that 8 different ways today. Once again, my dyslexic self, I end up double guessing my pronunciation. But yes, as the Apostic Union, some secrets are worth more than gold. You fraternized with cultists, traded illegal tomes, and sought dangerous knowledge. If something was hidden, you could find it, for a price. And last but by no means least, perhaps you were a fixer. In a bloody business, you kept your hands clean. The pubs and markets built your network and mingling schemes. Elsewhere, nefarious deeds were committed, and you were, of course, never involved. But your purse was never empty either. And again, I love how you build out this little story. We will be continuing our sneaky thievery, mainly because it also allows me to natter with your good selves once we start exploring and murdering people in the back. And last but by no means least, how did you fall? The Inquisition got you. What was your tell? Perhaps you were betrayed? In your line of business, you always kept your guard up, but sometimes it's not enough. In the end, you were sold out and left for dead in a pool of your own blood. Perhaps you were paranoid. As the years passed, your paranoia grew. You were always on the move, and you never stayed in the same bed twice. Turned out, they were right, though. You really were hunting you, and they found you. Remember, friends, you're not paranoid if they're out to get you. Perhaps you were an outlaw caster. You hoarded spells and potions, many valuable and useful items. But too many when fumbling for your invisibility spells. You accidentally opened a portal into an Inquisition ship. The worst possible destination. Or perhaps crime lord. You always had a knack for acquiring ill-gotten goods, but eventually this grew into an underground empire of trade. And with success came infamy, and the brutal Inquisition raid put you behind bars. So I'm gonna go for spellcaster. But again, it's worth noting that it isn't just these choices. Depending on the paths you choose, you could have been an archaeologist, or actually, I've never gone down the fighty route, so you could be Madison Beefcake Punch Hard. But again, I love how it's not just about building out stats and number go up. Building a person. So we're going to be an outlaw caster, because the spells in this game are sweet. Alright. What's up, Rotten Derek? Rotten Derek's our cellmate. Not much for company, certainly not much for smell. And yes, despite having played this multiple times, the compulsion to pick up our 3 coins there is eternal. And through the bars of our Inquisition jail cell, we can see a little bit of the Sky Islands already. But anyway, let's not keep the Inquisition waiting. So first off, we have this horrific abomination. This kind of clockwork horror zombie cherub. You know, standard stuff. Prisoner 17, you have been marked for temporary release. The High Confessional will see you in the central chamber. Do not keep her waiting. I think, yeah, what are you exactly? I was a prisoner like you, but the Inquisition in its generosity has made me so much more. That's fine. Cipher magic runs through my veins. My sins have been cleansed. I am a servant of the Inquisition. Now. So, I mean, you don't need me to tell you that the rusted steel and creaking clockwork mechanics are very much the vibe. Now, I have to admit, it wasn't until my last playthrough I got to meet this character, and the feckin' horror jump scare when I saw them. Whomst ever this was before is now trapped in this, like, automaton Iron Maiden of pain and agony. And they're the one who's going to be giving us directions. And if that doesn't set the ruddy tone for this game, I don't know what's going to. The device lurches on unstable legs, thick blood oozing from its seams, with each shuddering movement. A woman's voice, hoarse and raspy, echoes from within the device. Your service is required. Prisoner 17. That's not my name. Sorry. Using humor as a coping mechanism. Do you need some help? A cackle lapses into a sputter of coughs. This iron coffin is an honor, a privilege. The pain it delivers only serves to sharpen my reason. Your base crimes against the Apostate Union would not merit such exquisite torment. But I can offer you redemption of a different kind. I am the High Confessor of this Inquisition. Of the Inquisition Combat Tribunal. We are tackling the most dangerous of criminals. And you will help us. What's in it for me? She wheezes. You should be glad of such righteous opportunity to serve penance. But success could bring benefits, even your freedom. So listen closely. Also, I'm in love with this art style, and pay attention to behind the Inquisitor after the little cutscene. Anyway, so our target's whereabouts have been known for some time. A backwater archipelago on the very fringes of Union territory. Known as the Wonric Isles, these flying islands are host to a manor of outcasts and miscreants. We arrived a few hours ago, but were met with fierce resistance. Our target is the Blinding Light Fortress, the last remaining holdout of the Dark Star mercenaries. For our quarry is their leader, the notorious Velocalus. Excuse me. Velocalus? This is suicide! Not so. It is true that our agents have met with fierce resistance, but my drones calculate a 1 in 364 chance of success. It's entirely possible. Before you go, take this Inquisition journal. A mechanical arm thrusts a peculiar device in your direction. It will keep track of your mission. My drones can offer guidance. And closer to the binding light, Inquisitioner Ignavius can assist you further. Oh, and don't try to run. These flying islands are unstable, and many a fool has fallen to their death. But yeah, so check it out. The little cutscene explaining what we're going to be up to. The key information is there behind us on printouts, and it's a little detail, but I love it. I just love it. The idea that these rusty, lumbering Inquisition machines also have, like, rudimentary printers. Alright, damaged doors. Thank you. Apologies if I skip through a little bit of the tutorialized banter. You know, I understand as well as everybody that it is important to take new users through the experience, but the last time I got into mischief playing this game, I definitely felt like I ran out of time to show you all the good stuff, and I will not be fooled again. But yeah, so this is our first look at the run-up to the Blinding Light Fortress. And immediately you can see why people do draw comparisons to things like Morrowind and stuff like that. Like, while this is a swords and sorcery epic, it is also unlike anything else. The blood-red sky, the strange star in the center, the mushroom forests of varying sizes, and the I still like acid-soaked look to it all. You know, the gigantic lumbering machines, but a stark, haunting difference between the Inquisition's sharp, gothic aesthetic and the, I don't know, softer, organic vibes of the lands that roll before us. Also, there are ghosts here. Well, what do we have here? Another wretched soul caught in the Inquisition's web, no doubt. Tell me, has your High Confessor sent you off to die? Yes, no. Are you a ghost? She smiles, gesturing at herself. Are you shocked by a little apparition? Her gentle laugh seems to echo around you. My. You won't get far if that's the case. She gazes into the distance. Well, stranger, best watch yourself out there and mark my words. Something's brewing on these islands. The stage is set, the curtains are drawn, and the performance is set to bring the house down. She smirks at you, and something tells me you're going to have your own role to play. I'm gonna steal so much stuff. Sorry. Oh. Do not worry about the creepy-looking spider drop pods. They're just here to bring us some throwing goodies. Oh yes, and the other thing I love about this, now, I keep saying how much I love this game. I do. Like, I've been able to play it for about, like, 10 hours, but I didn't go too hard during early access, so I didn't burn out. So whether or not this ends up being more than just the system by which we level, I do not know. But the way in which you become stronger in this world is by your delusions. Fragments of delusions will eventually allow you to become more powerful. And I don't know, but there's something delicious about the concept of deluding yourself into being more powerful. Does that make a weird sense? I don't know, it's just something I've been thinking about a lot. You know, with Bloodborne and its insight and things like that, we have our delusions. So it's worth noting that specifically this starting area and a few others have been reworked drastically throughout development. Like, I got caught off guard when I came back to this area because I thought I'd have to be able to, like, run around like a cheeky so-and-so and, you know, show you all what's going down. Okay. Darkstar mercenaries, avoid combat, sneaky. Alright. So while we can indeed sneaky, we could assassinate. Honestly, I just want to drift past these mercenaries like the sneaky little pseudo-thief we are. Like, I wouldn't go so far as to describe Dread Delusions as an immersive sim, but I would describe it as its own wonderful little role-playing game with, if you want, a real emphasis on the roleplay. Does that make a weird sense? You know, one of the things I've found is that I'm less limited by stat choices and more by... Well, not limited, sorry, that's the wrong phrase, but the kinds of mischief that we can get into doesn't feel as restrictive as it might in other titles. Like, you know, if you didn't pick Thief at the beginning, that doesn't stop you from lockpicking, right? If I had a lockpicking system, while simple, is lovely and chaotic. Every lockpick is a roll of the dice. The stronger your skill, the less of a chance you'll break your picks. But it doesn't feel like with, say, Deus Ex and things like that, where if you didn't choose the cool kid skills from the get-go, then, well, get hecked. And this gentleman teaches us about charm. Are you one of the locals? He looks you up and down with disgust. Look, just... leave me be. I failed the Inquisition. I'd rather die in peace. So we have the choice of rolling on charm. I'm here to help. Or, okay, I'll leave you to it. So, charm. He lets out a weary cackle that breaks into a cough. I recognise you now. You're one of them prisoners. Gods. The Inquisitor must be really desperate. You know where you're gonna die. Right, those bastards wiped out a whole echelon. If you insist on this fool's errand, you might find some supplies in my crashed drop pod. Follow the river upstream, and you should find it. by the waterfall. Now, if it doesn't show that I played this a few times, that I immediately pilfered his stuff before he told us, well, we've got hot wizard shit to do. Actually, no, hot thievery to do. Apologies, last time I played through this, I went full wizard, and while it was a lot of fun, I found myself drawn to crime. So today, we crime. Okay, thank you, Inquisitor Bot. Lockpicking skill, let's go. Alright, I've already got my lockpicks. So, because our lockpick skill is high enough, we only needed a 2. Again, the chances of rolling a 6 on some of the more advanced stuff is valid. Ah, yes, and this is one of the other features that... This is one of the reasons why I've been playing Wizard so much when I go this, is that later on you have your lore skill, which allows you to investigate and decipher things. And I really love that. Well, because the reason being is, like, obviously, you know, thievery and lockpicking is all well and good, but when you're encountering things like, I don't know, you know, ancient ruins or tomes or what have you, well, understanding the ways of the world would allow you to find so many things. That in some of the ruins that you find throughout the lands, if you can find the right combination of artifacts, if you can solve the puzzles yourself, I know it's a good thing to go up there, but just that Inquisition aesthetic always makes me fucking nervous. But yeah, the lore system is very, very good for revealing the hidden truths of the land. And yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just being an Indiana Jones kid, but I love the idea that through knowledge, you can unlock the hidden secrets to tombs and relics of a bygone age. So, yes. As you approach, the Inquisitor takes a deep breath of air. Do you smell that? Prisoner 17! I can never decide if this guy is like Lord Flashheart or Matt Berry, so forgive me if I leap between both. Is it mushrooms? He clicks his fingers. Exactly! He turns at you, beaming smile across his face. Ah, I've never seen this many mushrooms in my life! Such wide stalks, such healthy gills. He takes a long breath and such potent spores! We have mushroom forests back home in Lundell, but nothing like this. He waggles a finger at you while turning his gaze back to the mushrooms. Prisoner 17, if you get back alive, remind me to get you a bash of the Scryshroom tea for my wife. They make it here in the Onric Isles, and I hear it is to die for. Okay, who are you? He slaps himself in the forehead. Where are my manners? He holds out his hand in a greeting. Inquisitor Ignovanus of the 12th Inquisitorial Tribunal. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Shake his hand firmly. He grips your hand with equal firmness. I see a good company, prisoner. He points to the fortress ahead. That is the Blinding Light Fortress at Bellicalos, leader of the Dark Star mercenaries. The High Confessor told me you'd be joining the assault and not a moment too soon, for we need all the help we can get. See what I mean? Matt Berry or Lord Flashheart. I've sent all my agents, but so far none have reported back. As expected, heavy fighting, but it seems those Darkstar ruffians are a tougher bunch than we gave them credit for. Your orders are, capture Vela alive. A tall order, I'll admit, but I think you're up to the job, prisoner. Any questions? Nope. His smile beams. That's the spirit, prisoner, and I'm sure I made short work of those ruffians. And when you're done, be sure to check in with me after the mission. I've taken quite interest in the Onric Isles of late, and I'm sure I can fill you in with plenty of useful tidbits. Not everybody in the Inquisition is an unhinged coffin psycho. But considering his cheerful, dapper demeanor as an Inquisitor, kind of speaks volumes. Alright. Okay. So if we need a little practice on our sword work and whatnot, this is where we could get ourselves a cheeky spot of practice. We are, however, I don't think there's anything else to be grabbing here. No. We are going to learn some magic. Return home spell, very useful. And we are going to indulge in a little kip. Sleepy time. The stamina system in this is that its stamina slowly depletes as you get more and more tired, right? Overexertion depletes your stamina, but it does mean that you can keep wailing even when your stamina bar is empty. It's just going to cost you later and you might have to go for a quick nap. See that looming fortress? It struck fear into the hearts of many who were braver and stronger than you. It was made in the God War, so the apostates named it the Blinding Light to ridicule the gods they planned to butcher. Ironic that it should fall into the hands of someone so blinded by ambition and zeal. Vela has claimed it in the pursuit of her own twisted haven, and the Blinding Light now turns its guns towards the faithless souls who made it. Her spectral eyes glisten. Tell me, stranger, if a hated enemy stood between you and your most cherished ideal, would you strike them down? Would you have the arrogance to take a life in the pursuit of your fantasy? I'm sure this question will not have any repercussions. Yes, I would. At least you're the honest sort. And you're hardly alone. The Sky Realms are stained with the blood of those who stood on the wrong side of history. Even the gods proved fallible. In the end. Still, I feel that in a world like this, the heart will only see you dead in a gutter by the sword of someone far less scrupulous. Okay. Now, I didn't check this place out. There was free coins, which we couldn't have got. This horrifying monstrosity that in most titles would be a cause for alarm. This is an Eye of Pegveth, a flower that we'll be able to use for alchemy later on in the game. And if there's one thing that I think sums up the uniqueness of this game, it is definitely those flowers. Like, I'll probably end up talking about this a whole bunch throughout our little playthrough. I've got you all for like 2 hours, and I plan to abuse your attentions. But the thing that has drawn me to this, the reason why I've been so obsessed with Dread Delusions, and I've actually been doing my best not to binge too hard before the game has reached like version 1, is because there's nothing else like it. This game is haunting and beautiful and unique, but more than that, it is its own beast. Like, this isn't a game merely as yet another reworking of that post-Tolkien style. Like, this is a game wholeheartedly its own. You know, from the clockwork, almost 40k aesthetic of the Inquisition, to the mushroom forests that, you know, what if Morrowind had had a little bit more of a colour palette? And the Morrowind comparisons will come thick and fast, but I mean them only in the highest of praise, right? You know, I kind of... one of the things I've talked a lot about whilst I've been streaming this and another title called Ludonaracon is how they take these classic games and... Stab! They take these classic games as a point of inspiration. Oh, wrong button. Give it your best shot. Stab! Haha! Parry! Stab! Stab! Parry! But no, like, the inspiration this takes from Morrowind, from the glorious weirdness, all the stranger in a strange land, you know, a true fantasy is something that I really think is deserved of celebration, you know. This isn't Lord of the Rings, this is Never-Ending Story. If you may or may not have imbued legal substances. I do not in any way, shape or form condone the use of illegal substances while playing Dread Delusions. My legal team has advised me. The irony, of course, that I'm saying that on the playthrough where we are the sneakiest of thieves. Lockpicks are in a little bit of short supply before we start hitting the... There we go. 3 lockpicks. Yes, the lockpicks are going to be in a little bit of short supply between now and when we hit the first... When we hit the start of the world, which is why I'm hoarding them. And... Stab! Sorry, we'll sneak up there into the fortress in just a second. I haven't actually gained any munition using weapons yet. So who knows what we find. Like, I understand that if we want the good, like, shooty gun bang, we need to head to the Clockwork Isles. And I don't think we'll have time to do that today. We'll get to start seeing snifters of the Clockwork Isles and what bizarrities have befallen them. Oh, and one thing. You see that Big Mushroom place? We're going to Big Mushroom. I'm determined this time. I haven't been to Big Mushroom, but look at it. Look at it. I don't know what its deal is. I don't know what it's about. You know, I'll impart upon you all as much knowledge and wisdom as I acquire, but like, I don't know. Shit's fair game at this point. You know, there's so much of this world I haven't had the chance to see. I cannot wait. And I think, yeah, these ones are ruffians. And the problem is, I don't actually want to fight the ruffians. Well, as I said earlier on, like, one of the things that the team behind this has been like keen to point out and keen to discuss is that this isn't supposed to be a grindy RPG of sorts. And because we've gone for an agility thief, we can kind of run circles around these early thieves, but stab up too many of them and we'll end up in the Thieves Guild's bad graces. And I don't want that. Because later on... give me the swing. There you go. Oh, beans. Okay, some iron ore to improve our stuff later on. Haha! Boxed him in! Ah, he worked out how to open doors! Truly, he is the greatest of thieves. Oh, beans, I didn't get the poison potion. Fool that I am. Standard kind of coat your blade sort of affair. But no, like, by the end of this little playthrough, friends, I'll probably have talked your ear off about how much I'm enamored with this world. And, again, that's from the perspective of somebody who hasn't seen it all. There's going to be a lot to explore. But we have a criminal to apprehend, and I can have a little sleepy sleep. What? I've got to have my little thief snap. Don't judge me. If wizards stay up all night, jumped up on coffee and mana, you know, then thieves deserve a little cat nap, little sleepy sleep. So yeah, at this point, guards are cleared out, so we can sneak inside. Now, I'll be able to show you more of it in just a second, but the Blinding Light Fortress is more than just, you know, baby's first tutorial dungeon. This area is eventually going to be our little base of operations. Like, sorry to say bury the lead, but oh, what? Snake eyes. There we go. Yeah, sorry to bury the lead a little bit, but eventually we'll be able to begin rebuilding this place and making it our own. And I don't know about you, but I'm an absolute sucker for... Ow! Getting stabbed in the feeties, apparently. You know what? I think I'm doing really well. I should level the playing field by stabbing myself in my own feet. No one made me do that. Okay. I guess we'll get to that in just a second. So yeah, my apologies if I'm blitzing through this a little quickly. There's quite a lot of this to explore, and I highly recommend it. Woo. As we've fallen down into one of the cool little back rooms. Here we get a sense of, yes, the cluttered desk, an assortment of maps, notes, and diagrams. Clutter the table. Detailing the planned exploits of the Dark Star mercenaries. One in particular catches your eye, an expedition to the cursed underlands far below the Skylands. The Sky Islands. So, like, think about that from, like, a story beat standpoint. You can head down to the Great Below, you can go, but what does it do to you? Oh, old contraptions. You recognize these old machines. These are God War relics, inoperable and mostly useless. Such strange contraptions are rarely seen outside the Clockwork Kingdom these days. Ooh, I didn't spot that last time I played this. You know what? We're playing as a thief. I could bunny hop these traps with ease, but I think that perhaps I should lean into my skills rather than being a dingus. Now, I can't remember if this is a lore door or if this is something else from another route to invade the castle. I haven't cracked that, so it could be something super cool later on. It could be another way to approach our little tutorialization. You know, for as much as I've played this, I've only seen like a fraction of its true power. Okay. It is time for Moida. Bump stab. As I see you do. Sorry. Okay, perhaps I've bitten off a little more than I can chew. But we buckle a fine swash. Someone once explained to me in great detail what the term swashbuckling actually meant and where it came from, and I regret that I did not pay more attention when they told me that. Because now every time my idiot ass goes, time to buckle that swash, I'm not actually sure what I'm referencing. A lot more of the old god-killing contraptions. What the heck is this? Aha! It's because I never came in the front door. So using the lore skill, because we've got a slight grounding in like wizardry, we can operate these old contraptions from the God War, and which would have led us back through there and allowed us to do the thing that we already did by sneaking in the side. Man. Again, this is my like fourth run through of this starting area, and I'm still finding things. And if that's not a glowing endorsement for this, I don't know what is. Beer! Sorry. These days I'm more of a gin man myself, but we're a lot more well-to-do. My previous wizard was broke, drunk, and highly caffeinated. Okay, so that, I think, heads up to where we're supposed to go. That's one of the little secret areas. This takes us down to where we were earlier. So yeah, that's where we grabbed an extra bunch of lockpicks, and I mentioned the never-ending story. And sorry, the reason I bring that up is just, it's one of those like pieces of fantasy that springs to mind that is not... that doesn't feel like it's wholeheartedly based on, like, the post-Tolkien style. And don't get me wrong, Beck and love it, right? But if, like myself, you've consumed a lot of nerd media, if you played a lot of video games, especially anything that contains the term world of, like, you're probably used to a certain style of fantasy. You're probably used to being able to spot certain tropes and archetypes very, very early on. And, like, again, that's fine. All for a bit of, like, familiarity in my video games. But again, the thing that keeps me coming back to this is that I don't know, right? And, like, if you've been watching this far along and this is your first time seeing it, you don't know. Like, this is soft baby paddling pool of weird fucking nonsense we're gonna get to today. Alright? You haven't met Big Eyeball or Many Dragon. We haven't been to the best pub in video games. Well, okay, a contender for the best pub. At some point, I need to put together like a tier list of pubs. I have to make that one of my little missions. But the pub from this, which I'm not going to spoil the name of, we'll get to that in a bit. The pub from this is something special. Okay, so we can find our way out the side here. Pretty sure this will be. Yeah. We'll need the cash trait later on. Trust me. Go on, give it a swing, mate. What we'd get done with a rusty blade. Terrifying. Nothing. I'm definitely set for lockpicks. But yeah, no, I have the desperate need to know more about this world. Like... Ooh. Acoustic bomb. A vial of fine white powder distilled through alchemic process. Extremely volatile. Will explode on impact. Cool! I've seen that one before. As I was saying earlier, like, I stopped playing this in early access because I didn't want to burn myself out before the full story was unfurled. But I'm absolutely going to be streaming the heck out of this. Right. Well, this is pretty cool. I didn't see this area until much, much later in my previous attempt. Alright. Avast, Vela! It is I, Sneak Stabbington! Velicolo stands with gravitas, her voice piercing the clatter of the ship. You notice blood seeps from her armor. She is wounded, but she hides it well. Loose the sails! Why is the anti-gravity engine not running? Suddenly, you catch her eye. What's this? A straggler? The Dark Star Company greets you. My apologies, but you have caught us at a rather inopportune moment. Velicalus, I've come to apprehend you in the name of the Inquisition. She throws her head back and laughs. Ha 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 ha! Oh, that's good. You've come to apprehend me. You look like you need a meal and a lie down. And again, every time I read that line, I feel like I'm personally being attacked. I've had food and slept today, thank you, Vela. You just look like this all the time. I don't think you're in a state to apprehend a silk slug. Those Inquisition dogs must be really desperate, huh? Still, you can't tarry here. Events are in motion that cannot be stopped. Prepare yourself, straggler. As great deeds are afoot. Deeds that will bring the Apostate Union's tyranny to an end, and then will usher in a new age of heaven. And with that, we must take our leave. It's been a pleasure, but I doubt we'll meet again. Vela! Look, don't judge me. I like getting dramatic with it. Oh yeah, also skyships. I don't know if did I mention skyships? I don't think I mentioned skyships. To my understanding, we will gain our own skyship later on in the story. And you've got to admit, that's pretty feckin' cool. Okay. Oh, and we've got a delusion to spend. Charm barter. Stamina, gut lockpicking, agility skills. You know what, let's keep stacking guile for now. And before the Inquisition gets to have their way with the fortress. Is that a feckin' kit? Yeah, time. Look, Vela's obviously been living it up in this sweet feckin' boudoir. So why shouldn't we have like some of the good honk shoe? Oh yes, so the thing I mentioned earlier, and again, apologies for kind of burying the lead. So one of the things that you'll be able to do the further you get into this is expand and improve upon a blinding light base. Now, I only managed to get like a couple of upgrades prior. I think I got either the quarter or the workshop. I forget. But oh, I need one more of the little orbs. But it means that you can really kind of turn this into your home base. And I'm a great big sucker in games that let me build my own cool feckin' base. And the implication that whatever this Kronk lever is, that the fortress needs repairing before that will work. Before what will work? Is that a doof cannon? Are you giving me a doof cannon? Okay, it's time to talk to Bleedy Fridgeson, and yeah, you get a little look behind the curtain there. If you would close that steely curtain, I'd be very appreciative. Thank you. So the High Confessor has given orders to agents around her, pointing with her mechanical limbs and shouting between bouts of coughing. Eventually, she notices you. Ah! Prisoner! 17, was it? Our drones have been tracking you, and it seems Vela has escaped. Alright, I played your little game. Will you set me free? The device shifts ominously towards you. Need I remind you, prisoner, that your sentence remains unfulfilled? We must ascertain where Vela has fled to. Lucky for us, I know just who we can ask. She laughs to herself, but this turns into a pained series of retches. After a moment, you think she may have vomited. Okay, so the Onric Isles are home to a number of former Dark Star mercenaries. My superiors would rather I executed them, but she is silent a moment. They are more used to us alive. If anyone knows where Vela went, they will. I would start with Jack Basalt, former Navy captain turned sellsword. We've already contained him, lol. Please forgive my T-burps. That's what I get for wolfing down rice before yelling about fantasy fun. We already contacted him and arranged a meeting. And you can find him at, brace yourself, the Wobbly Noggin pub in Hallowtown. The Wobbly Noggin pub. Now, ultimately, my goal is going to be to try and get you there in the next, hour and change, which is by no mean feat. We're going to have to swindle some mushroom folk and get into some proper mischief, but I think we can do it. Basalt has promised to direct us towards his comrades in exchange for the polymath's pardon. He can help you find the others. Actually, why me of all your agents? The Dark Stars are deeply mistrustful of the Inquisition, you could say. We've had a few run-ins in the past. As one of our newest and most amenable operatives, you may have better luck than other agents. Alright. Got it! Good. But be careful. These islands are on the very fringe of Union territory. There may be worshippers, or even minor gods who have fled the Union's purges, tucked away here. The only assuredly faithless place is Hallowtown. which will kind of work as a pseudo hub town. And beyond Hallowshire's borders, there is ground even Union boots won't tread upon. To the east, the Clockwork Kingdom is in full-blown crisis, while the people of the endless realms of the west are cursed to never die. My tribunal will establish a command post in this fortress in the blinding light. Return here to recuperate, if you wish. Oh, and one more thing. From now on, you will be known as Confessor 17. This doesn't change your crimes or your sentence, but it sounds better than prisoner, huh? Okay, I will be going. I highly recommend indulging the High Inquisitor's conversation. And Matey Boy, Lord Flashheart, is a lot of fun, but I get lost bantering with him and doing constant Matt Berry impressions. So without further ado, let us head out into the world. Now, I know I've banged this drum multiple times, but just once more for the sanity of us all. Sanity? Sorry. Once more, I think this is the game letting you loose now. And immediately you're confronted with a gigantic dead mushroom in a strange village. What appears to be, you can see it just through the mushroom trees ahead of us, a gigantic fighty orb that seems to be having the best time of its life. And round this way, we have Big Mushroom. Now, I said we were going to go to Big Mushroom, and by Jove, we are. We should... Oh yes, if we head down towards Big Angry Eyeball, we should encounter some of the cartographers. A group of wizards trying to chart these very, very moving, shifting isles. There it is. Big Mushroom. That's where we're headed. Can avoid those geists with ease and pilfer a little tune while we're at it. Lovely. Again, I know I mentioned to you all about the crafting system, as later on it'll be predominantly alchemy that allows us to make potions, but look at this, alright? This is a Death's Head, I believe, mushroom? Death's Veil. A legendary mushroom with potent alchemical potential. If a traveller becomes cursed in the Underlands, their corpse may become host to this fungi. It is said the properties of this herb can change based on the personality of the deceased host. They're still moving! Which means that is someone that travelled to the Underlands, made it up, and then fucking died. For the beauty and the neon-soaked variety of this world. Sorry, I'm going to stab this Zorb in the butt. There is so much to this game that is truly horrifying. But, sorry, I should probably talk a little bit about Lovely Hellplace, the devs behind this incredible little game. Because, you know, I fucking love it. So I first became aware of, I want to say it's Splatter, but please forgive me if I'm misnaming their title, which was a collection... it was a game inside one of the Dread X collections. Again, I believe it was the first one, but honestly, it's late. I'm doing thief shit and drinking weird tea. Honestly, I'm not even sure where I am right now. But the one thing that stood out to me that I really want to discuss with you is just how feckin' fresh that game was. So that title was about like a post-apocalyptic London, where in the future the virtual world and reality have crashed into each other and become like inexplicably melded together. So as you traverse like the ruins of London, you encounter these gigantic like horse flies and these strange creatures that have become twisted between this realm and the digital realm. And the thing that struck me was not just how fresh the color scheme of it was, but this unapologetic idea that we don't have to explain everything directly. Oh, sorry, let me me extrapolate on that if you don't mind. What I mean by that is we do not have to tell the player that this is exactly how it be. This is the science and the mechanics of what you will encounter. How did the virtual realm crash into reality? Dunno. Just is. Just did. Like, work it out. How did the Shattering Isles become this? Who knows? Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we heckin' won't. Like, the strange flora and fauna that we encounter, the gigantic beasts and where they come from, the Inquisition's war on the gods. It simply is. And, oh, that was a truth potion, by the way. And the opus is on us to decide how much or how little of that mystery we want to decipher. It doesn't matter if our character understands the world they're in. It doesn't matter if we understand. This is just how it is. Also, I see that cheeky little door over there. I fucking missed that. It's gotta be like a back entrance. What's this? Ooh! Ooh, I didn't get over here. So this contraption seems to require a key. I have not worked out what these are specifically, like magical palanquins or whatever. They look fucking cool. Darkstar mercenaries are viable for stabbing. Ow. Always kill the caster. Always murder the butler. Okay, getting a bit cocky here. There we go. All that with a rusty sword. Let's go. Ah, I think I know who this is. I don't know if we've got the banterful skills to convince them to help us, but this person was very much elsewhere in one of the earlier builds. Hello there. A Darkstar mercenary languishes, an ale in one hand. She barely registers your presence. Huh! Are you with the Inquisition? Or some petty thief here to pick over our corpses? I'm just passing through. I have no quarrel with you. Damn straight! Any funny business and I'll lop off your head. She swings an arm in a vague gesture, spilling her ale in the process. Charm. If you don't care about Vela, let me in the storeroom below. Vale! It's true! I've no love for Vela. But it's another thing to betray the Darkstar's company. They're still my brethren. Worth a shot. However... Okay. So, this is something that we could... this workforge is something that we could build back at base. And if we can acquire 3 pieces of iron ore, we can get this turned into something a little bit more fanciful. I mean, not that we've seemingly had much problem with a rusty blade. I forget where we check our... check our resources. Good at video games, I know. Okay, yeah, here we go. So we've only got 2. Steel Sword would certainly help us. And I will say, I've seen a little snippets of some of the late game weapons. There's like clockwork rifles and folding blades. I've got to admit, like, kind of stoked to find some of them. Like, ooh, what was that? Oh, it's one of the Inquisition setups. Okay. Sorry, don't get me wrong. I thoroughly enjoy a good Soulsian game, and when it comes to playing Soulsian titles, I have a real weakness for big sword go brrr. You know, I'm a Berserk fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, so do I end up basically just building and rebuilding guts? Yes. Yes, I do. But in my defense, big sword is fun, big sword go brrr. Sorry, buddy. Oh yeah, these little guys I think are fascinating. There's like Studio Ghibli style, like gremlins. Feel a little bad for stabbing him up, but them's the breaks. Ooh, and a shielding potion. That'd be good for later. But this title is, again, less about, you know, min-maxing the most powerful creation that you can find, and more about... What the feck is that? More about exploring this world. Okay, so now we have to play one of the most interesting games in this. Am I going to make friends with it, or is it going to eat me? Oh, it is not going to eat me. Sturdy silk thread produced by the ubiquitous silk slug can be used to upgrade a variety of clothing. Despite being soft to touch, this thread is remarkably durable. Thank you, buddy. He's all tuckered out now. Let's see what's in here. Aha! See, unfortunately, we're too stupid to work that out. My law skill is not high enough, but had we chosen the path of the wizard, we'd be able to readjust that candle and maybe find a few other places where there's something for us to run. Okay, and that one there probably would have been the second part as well. Anyway. Oh, hang on. Grab that first. And that. We're going to use the spell of sleeping to head on back, but this gave us a nice chance to explore a little bit. But we've still got to go to Big Mushroom, and we've still got to get into Big Mushroom Town. Sorry, we've still got to get to Big Mushroom. I believe the path to Big Mushroom was down. Yes. So anyway, that's the way we just went. So now we can head across the bridge to great big, threateningly haunting eyeball. You know, that old chestnut. God, I fucking love this game. Because, like, one of the things that people talk about a lot when discussing games like, you know, the Elder Scrolls series and things like that is how, you know, the eye is the compass to adventure. The idea that you look out upon these great vistas and you see something that makes you go, what the f is that? And then you quest towards it, and maybe you find adventure, and maybe you find cool goodies. But those wonderful, wonderful views are what lead you forward. I love that. The other thing that I think about a lot the more I play this is, I don't know if any of you played a game a million squillion years ago called Septira Core. It was a more traditional JRPG, but it was predominantly about the idea of like a multi-layered planet where each disc, each core, if you will, each plate would rock atop the other. Like, the lower down you went, the lower down in stature you were. Ooh, ultra regen. Lovely. And the thing that I really loved about it was that it presented me with a world that I did not understand, but I desperately wanted to. Something that was truly different, truly strange. Should we go talk to the rotten onions? Yeah, okay. Rotten onions, Big Mushroom, then we head for the Wobbly Noggin. Because, crime! Sorry, okay, so this little band of mercenaries has the best name. Stop right there! This is the esteemed mercenary company headquarters of the Rotten Onions. None may pass without authorization from our captain, John Birdbark. What kind of name is the Rotten Onions? Well, that's a very fine name, I'll have you know. Birdbark is an esteemed scholar and a battle wizard, as well as our captain. It is his reasoning that the name is designed to strike fear in our enemies. Yes, and how does that work? Well, it's semi-biotic. It's words, right? They have, like, meaning and stuff. Yes, but why do onions strike fear in the hearts of your enemies? The guard tilts his head and scratches his jaw. Well, people don't like onions, see? And it makes you cry, and the rotten ones are even worse. Alright, never mind, I give up. The guard nods, evidently satisfied. I'd like to get inside. What's up with the giant monster? Oh, that's a giant Nautilus. Pretty scary. He leans in close and chuckles, but you don't quite get the joke. You see, the mayor of Pywall hired us to do a job, right? But she... Excuse me. Cheeky T-Burp. But she is refusing to pay up. So, we're going to sack the place unless she hands over the coin. Okay. He nods. Right. I want to get inside. Well, you can't. Unless you could get us the mayor's ledger. Charm. I'm just a huge fan of Rotten Onions. I'd love to join you. Failed. Ha! Not falling for that one. Not again anyway. Poor guy. Alright, how can I get the ledger? Well, I mean, I'd sneak in at night while the mayor's asleep, of course, and bring it back to me, and you'll officially be a friend of the Rotten Onions. Well, that's all I wanted to know. Okay, we're going. We've got a lot of ground to cover, and I've only got your company, dear friends, for another hour. And I do want to check out Big Mushroom, because I didn't get to look at it yet. Oh yeah, sorry. So the mayor that we're going to be checking into is... so while our goal is to get to the central hub area, we're going to get somewhat laywayed at Plywall, kind of mushroom village. A little village on the way that specializes in a certain kind of mushroom tea that allows you to see the future. The Scry Shroom. Oh, go away, frog. Ow! Bad frog. I didn't hurt, I'm just annoyed. Anyway. Oh, so that gentleman down there, you see that little hut just dead ahead of us? That is a gentleman from the Cartographer's Guild. One of the great things about this is you don't just find things as you totter around a la AAA nonsense. You actually have to chart your own maps. And the Cartographer's Guild pays you for it, which I think is very, very cool. The idea that because the floating islands are always shifting, one cannot simply just draw a map, but using a complex combination of special spells and cipher magic, you could potentially create like a living living map, and that's what they pay you for. We won't really have enough time to indulge that as much as I would like. However, it is something that I have genuinely enjoyed. Hello! Faffing about with as we've been able to explore this. What the heck is up here? This door's barred from the other side. Law check, maybe? Is this some weird wizard shit? Nobulous tree, are you involved in this? You look like you're involved in this. Actually, I don't know what I thought stabbing was going to do. Curious. Doesn't appear to be any way to get in. Oh, shit, look! Whatever it is from above. Sorry, I was ranting about Septera Core earlier, and then I got distracted by this game, which I frequently do. So the other thing that I really want to just rave about is how much this feels like a collection of floating islands, and not just flat map, what look fancy. There is actually a verticality to exploration here, and while some of these areas can seem a little small, they're what the feck? Skeleton is about to be Skelegon. Oh, he is much stronger than me. I take it back. He's gonna kick my ass. Please don't eat me, skeleton. He's very fast. He is very fast and fighty. Our agility's pretty good though, so we made it away, but still, that could have gone very poorly. Maybe I'm not ready for... Maybe I'm not ready for Big Mushroom? Also, I still have no idea what the four-winged dragon is. I've seen it on every one of my playthroughs. It has made itself very known, but it is a fighty bastard, and it scares me. Okay. It's not letting me cheek my way down to the mushroom village. I have to go to Big Mushroom the old-fashioned way. I was very, very confident when I parried that skeleton, hit it, and the skeleton was like, no, I'm kind of just offended. One thing I will say is that if you haven't played something like this before, at first this can seem very, very overwhelming. And my advice would be just go. There's actually very little to this that you can, air quotes, lose, right? Oh, he saw me ages ago, didn't he? Yeah, not as tough as a skeleton, are you? Broken bastard. Sorry. But while the stamina system does mean that you have to head back and rest, like, you can't really lose in this. To my understanding, your delusions are not taken away. You know, your progress is not lost. And in a world so gloriously strange, you know, treat yourself. Go on a little adventure. See if there's anything that you can find. Fight this floating eyeball. Go to a giant mushroom village. You know, Dread Delusion doesn't punish you for exploring. I love that. But, you know, I'm a sucker for things that are interesting and different. Well, here's hoping that this place doesn't end up being like Super Mushroom Murder Village, and then I have to book it across the map to not die. This seems fine. You guys friends? Are we buddies? Are we chatting? No, we are not chatting. Okay. Ow. Okay. So whatever this place is, it definitely looks like somewhere to explore later. For now, I think I'm gonna chug a potion, head back to the central point, and take us up towards Mushroom Village. I should say, actually, I've been a terrible host, haven't I? So if you're watching this, you're probably seeing it on a Steam page, in which case, hello! If you have any follow-up questions about this and you can't get hold of like the devs or what have you, please feel free to blep at me online. I'm happy to talk this game up anyway. But also, if you're swinging on by, please do give this a wish list. Do give this a follow. It is a zero money way that you can help the team behind it. And in case it isn't obvious from the fact that I've been rambling for well over an hour, I feckin' love this game. You know, if you find yourself exhausted with the stagnant boredom that AAA provides, I cannot recommend a better counter. Okay. We do have to talk to little Billy first before we get ourselves weighed. Don't worry, it'll make sense in a second. The youth looks at you with caution, wide-eyed, logsed in a gaunt face. Oh, a newcomer! Oh, welcome to Plowell Village! My name's Lud. Were you involved in that commotion all about Old Fort? I am an inquisitional agent hunting criminals of the Apostate Union. He shivers and looks you up and down. Oh, I'm so sorry! I didn't realise. You look like you don't look like one of those agents, though. You must be, undercover, right? He whispers, if it help, I can tell you about our town. We're just a humble village, he swallows. Have you heard of the Scratch Room? Well, it's a mushroom that shows you the future. We grow it and we sell it, only things aren't going so well and people are worried. Okay, we've got to get going, kid. Oh, of course, but bye. So, little Lalud, bless him, he talks a lot. And I have a lot of game to show you, friends. But predominantly what's happening in this village is for some reason the Scryshiums don't grow so well. And there's whisperings, fearful underground talkings of the fact that perhaps some people have turned to god worship, the old ways. The gasp! And to be given permission to explore this area, we need to acquire a passport that'll let us through that big gate in the horizon. Which means we have to check in with this guy, the Waymaster. The man's eyes follow you with suspicion. His greying hair and weathered skin suggest he is older than most of the village, and a faded scar runs down his face. You're new in town, I gather. Well, I'm the local Waymaster. Name's Gulwich, and I'll have you know before you engage in any business here in town of Pliable, be taking your way. So, without words, please step on scales. He gestures to the huge contraption behind him. Thank you kindly. Alright. Now, how does he work out the nature of our being from weighing us? I have no feckin' clue, but I look forward to finding out. Pliable Village, you met a Waymaster Kilwick, who refused to speak to you until you were weighed on his enormous scales. You've weighed yourself. You should probably report back to him. He studies the dials and symbols atop the machine and scratches various notes with some parchment. Interesting. Oh, very interesting. Say nothing. The prime glyph says you're a criminal? He shoots you a stern glance. The lesser glyphs are harder to pass here. Let's see now. Forbidden cipher, eh? You stumbled on one of those illegal words? Oh, a strange crime, no doubt, but one with good reason. You don't want to be blowing up this town just because you mispronounced one. But there's one more glyph. Inquisitional agent? He looks up from his parchment, his face struck with puzzlement. Begging your pardon, at first glance I thought you might be one of those Darkstar mercenaries. You know what, running from them Inquisition raid down at Road? Yes, I'm a confessor atoning for my crimes. Well, far be it for me to lay Inquisition business. I have approved your visit to Plywall, but won't get any more trouble. He thinks a moment. But, say, in the light of your profession, could you lend this humble servant of the Apostate Union an hand? There may be a Union passport in it for you. The Union passports are items we need to lower the bridges between the islands. Despite being an agent, we're not automatically given a passport. And, well, they're not easy to come by. You see, the Inquisition raid ain't the only reason I've been on so eager to weigh people away. For there's fears of bloody god worship among town folk. After all we've been through, he looks distinctly peeved. So you need help tracking down god worshippers. He leans forward and speaks low. Aye, folk have been fearing recently, you see. Soils are dying with harvests are down. Merchants want to buy our scratch rooms more than ever, but we can't meet demand. Some have been flirting with the old ways. No, just tell me what you need. Alright, I'll tell you straight as you know. God worship and consorting with Wiccans, or their gods, is a heinous crime. But the reason, I've reason to believe there are some among us who are turning to it, trying to fix the poor harvests. Trouble with a small town like this, you all know each other, and the guilty parties won't talk to me, but you're an outsider, and an Inquisitional agent to boot. I need you to ask around, try and find any Wiccan sympathisers, and we can sort this out quiet-like before the villagers start looping each other's heads off in a frenzy. Find someone out, I'll dispense you with a Union passport. Alright. I'll see what I can do. Okay. Until next time. Now again, The only downside, dear friends, of playing through this early build that I've been given is that I have a limited amount of time with it. Or at least I should say a limited amount of time to show you. The full game's going to be coming out real soon, and at that point, as I said, I'll be starting my own proper playthrough on a website you may have heard of called twitch.television. But for the moment, please, please, please forgive me for zipping around. I hit upon a couple of puzzles that... Whee! First time I played through this build, and I really want to get to the juicy bits. So first off, the farmhand sits aimlessly watching the mushrooms. Busy day? Oh yeah, Emryn wasn't slacking off. No, just ain't too much around here to do lately on account of the poor mushroom yield. And yes, all the mushroom people are from budget Yorkshire. I will not be taking questions at this time. Each year the harvest gets leaner and leaner. Twin says it will be fine, but I don't think he ever believes it. Last time I took Scrashum, I saw a vision of Pliable, barren and bare, and the houses all ruined. Honestly, unless we do something, there's down ain't much of a future, I reckon. Have you heard of any god worship around here? Looks suddenly nervous. Emryn don't know nothing here. Even if I got talking about that kind of stuff, Coolwitch will go and weigh me on them scary scales of his. I'll leave you to it. Okay, so that's fine and dandy and all, but I know you've got a secret. Look around here. There's a secret door. How did we worked out how to crack into this last time, I'm sure I remember. Now, I can't remember if this was a lore challenge or if this was lock picking. Yes, this looks like an interesting landmark. Sorry, this is one of the things that I really do enjoy about this, is that each of these little areas feels like a tiny puzzle to solve. There we go. We've got just enough lore to get this open. This gets us down to here. And now, 6 off the bat. Let's go. Who the heck are you? What's this? Another drop-in? That old Dwim's not giving us key to any old breather. She lets out a raspy sigh. Look, I'm sure you know the drill, but tell anyone about a little smuggling enterprise, and get blade in the gut. Her torn lips form a mockery of a smile. Got it? She clasped her hands together. Well, the pleasantry's out of the way. What'll it be? Looking to move some goods, or are you after a Union passport? Ooh, let's see what you have for sale first. She nods. And obviously, you didn't get it from me. Truth potion. Jesus. 195 gold for a passport. I didn't even know this little area existed. Okay, what else you got for me? You look a little worse for wear. What, you never seen an endless before? She coughs. I bet you haven't and all. Well, the name's good... Gahadrid. I am 600 and something years old. Forgive me, can't recall the exact number. The last 100 have been a bit of a drag. Anyways, not a bloody emissary for the Endless Realm. You can see its rotten trees and mausoleum spires from Plywall, and if you really want to know the delights of eternal life in a dusty tomb, you can visit it sometime. What's with the portal at the back? She grins. Ah! Old family heirloom, shall we say. Us Endless are fond of our portal mirrors, even if they often lead you to the arse end of the mausoleum. Though I might well make good use of a pair. Stuck up this little partnership down with Dwin. That one leads right to the Lost Purse in Hallowtown. Let's just say folk over there have their share of mutual distrust for union taxes. She chuckles. Only, they keep the room barred from the other side unless we have delivery, so don't go snooping around. Union passports. Well, if they didn't, I'm not likely to tell you now, am I? God. How's this? If a fella in the gate bridge susses it's a forgery, I'll come give you a friendly visit in your Inquisition prison cell. Satisfied? No. So if you want one, have a look through my stock. Not a word of anyone, you hear? Okay. Now, I was expecting some shifty god worship, but it seems down here is just a little, like, smuggling operation. Which, hey, we're here to fight gods, not judge others for the crimes that I'd be doing if I could. I'll leave you to it. So Dwin's the one with the smuggling operation. Let's see what else we can find. I'll tell you though, I should definitely get us a nap. out to the mayor. You just steal the mayor's ledger, to be honest. Ah, yes. I remember how I did this. So this is the town's central mushroom. Now, tragically past. But this is their, I don't know, heirloom. This is their landmark. When exploring it, I noticed this little operation down here, which seems to be different from whatever smuggling stuff is going on. Again, I didn't know what was down there. I was expecting God shit, which is the name of my next good band. But when exploring this, a little hop and a skip past the waterfall, and would you look at this? A hidden entranceway to somewhere. Now, my previous individual who ran through this town was a wizard. He wasn't very deft with a lock, but was good with a spell. Literally just ran around casting Befriend on everyone. Didn't stop being funny. Sup, Giant Eyeball? And I made it round down to here and broke my ruddy lockpicks. Oh. Hello? This wasn't open last time. Wait, perhaps it's open during the day. What the fuck is this? This is cool! Secrets and spores. In Pliable Village you found evidence of god worship deep in the cave under town. Waymaster Kilwin will surely want to hear of this. So let's see if we can find out who it is that's doing the worship. Here you can see this, the giant smashed skull of whatever god it was that was slain. And one thing this game does very, very well is it makes you feel important as a protagonist and as an agent of change. Especially when you get your like little Inquisitor badge. It's hard not to be a little bit of a fascist villain, you know, waving your credentials around and doing crime. But then you are confronted with what was once, you know, the dead gods of yore. And then things get weird. Anyway, so we know there's god worship. Oh, the ship right there later on, I believe, is how we will be travelling from area to area. Getting our little skyship to fly about. Okay. I'm not doing sky shrooms. Yes, I've heard of them. Okay. You convinced me what you're selling. Rent the room. Nap time. Because we're going to sleep until nighttime and do crime. I want to do a little bit of crime before we... a little bit of crime before we progress. And I guess this is like a good chance to show you like the day-night cycle. So during the day, when in people's shops and stores, predominantly they will attempt to stop you from, well, doing crime. But by night, all bets are quick save. You know, there's the Knight's Guard out for a stroll. Or that's just some rampant mugger. I'm not sure which. Matey Boy and everyone else will be tucked up in their beds for now. So now it's time to do crime. Quietly and do crime. Should have bought a better lock. While I'm running around and doing crime. So the mayor's asleep upstairs, so let's see what we can find beneath. Love the little chest attic. Modest treasure, trinkets of a bygone age. Could fetch a pretty penny if sold to those with a nostalgic mind. Okay. What the fuck is that? Okay. Looks pretty worshipy, but we'll leave it for now. It didn't attack me, I'm not attacking it. You know, we're literally in a town where people do hallucinogenic mushrooms to see the future. I don't think there's much that surprises me at this hour. A debt unpaid. He met a rotten mercenary in the southeast, claims. You stole the mayor's ledger, as requested by him, should return to him to gain access to the camp. what we'll actually end up doing, probably, friends, is having a little snooze. We'll leave the mayor and her son to the fates, and we'll probably engage with the Inquisitor bloke. It is interesting that whatever is beneath the town was left unguarded, and I don't think we saw anyone go down there. But it's a story for another time. Spoiler, also, the child is still out. Still just hanging around. I'm just on a little crime spree. Quiet crimes are my favourite. Oh, buddy, you should have bought a better lock. Only a 2? Don't cheap out, mate. Shh! Don't be so loud. Ah, just a modest treasure. I can steal his boots. Wake up in the morning. Where the fuck are my shoes? The feet bandit strikes again. Hopefully. God doesn't spot me. Oh no, there is nothing here. I'm feeling like rather the accomplished criminal now. I think those are the main houses. I guess we can try and rob these guys as well. Like, in for a penny, in for steal everybody else's shit. Oh, actually, they might just be awake. Oh yeah, they just sleep at their desk. Poor bugger. As someone who also works all hours, big mood, friend, big mood. Didn't even break a single lockpick. Back of the net. Okay. Yeah, so let's have a snooze. We'll talk to the Inquisitor. See where that leads us. Because this is Dwin. Some questions. Plywall had a certain reputation for smuggling. Let's poke at him. He shoots you an angry guard. A lot of folk talk about that. A lot of folk don't know what they're talking about. Sure, a lot of mercenaries have set up shop in these parts, and yeah, we trade. We trade with them, but in Plywall, we pay our taxes just like anyone in the Union. That's why old Culwich went to Rovere to learn to be a waymaster. His eyes narrow. And if you've been snooping around and seen some things you don't like the look of, I'd advise you keep your trap shut. Didn't pay nut over there just for his looks, you know. He protects my business interests. You hear me? Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'll take the room. One of the other things is that while you can sleep out in the wild, the chances that you'll get a couple of coins nicked is a non-zero amount. God. And friends, the other thing that I do hope you take into consideration is we haven't even gotten to the wild shit yet. Like, the Clockwork Kingdom has whole-ass, like, you know, tiny like houses on tank treads. The world of Dread Delusion has so many things that even I haven't seen. I feel woefully under-equipped to be the individual in the chair because I've been wanting to save it. I've not seen it all. Anyway, what can I do with you? Okay, so I found evidence of god worship in Plywall. He leans close. Oh yeah, sorry. Oh yeah, what was I doing from York? Down at pit, alright. Oh yeah, well tell me then, why don't you? There's an occult instrument in the caverns below Plywall. For a moment, he merely stares past you, lost in thought. This can only mean one thing. If someone's... oh god. The Yorkshire burps. If someone's conducting rituals around Agnes' corpse, that means they're trying to reopen the blood contract. But buried in those claws is a terrible cost, no less than a human sacrifice. Here, take this key. It'll unlock the upper chamber of the sacred shroom to the west. There's no doubt in my mind someone's been taking the sacred shroom to be metabolized as per the contract terms. Gotta go, gotta get them, gotta save them. You say metabolized? In the old days there were sacred shrooms all over Plywall. Each would spawn an whole forest of scry shrooms, but only if they've been recently metabolized. A human. I ain't sure these scry shrooms use part of the human body to achieve their effect. It was all just part of Angwin's divine mockery. But I know that scry shrooms used to be more potent in the old days. Now, there's only one sacred shroom left, deep in the mushroom forest to the west. All them others were shriveled up and died. I'd stop in feeding them flesh. So how do I get to this mushroom? Well, you need to travel through the mushroom forest. You can't miss the mushroom itself. It's probably the biggest mushroom you've ever seen. That's where we went earlier! Feck, I should have known. On account of being used by Wiccans in the past, there's doors and paths leading around here, the shroom itself. And the main doors will lead you through the central stem. And there might be a whole host of nasty monsters waiting to tear you a new one. So you might try looking for a way around the back. Probably be locked up tight. You might have less of a fight in your hands that way. Alright, I shall do my best. Okay, we've had a nap. We've done some crime. If we want to give the ledger to the Rotten Onion Knights, we can. But I believe... Oh, there's a downward contraption up this way that should speed it up. Also free money. Sorry. I believe it's around this way. Stamina be damned, we're just gonna Sonic the Hedgehog around. What's the point in an agility character if we can't, There we go. We can't zip around. So yeah, so this drops us neatly in the Mushroom Forest. And that's where we need to be. Also, I do love the fact that this little down area shows you the cartographer's tent, which is where we would do cartography and start mapping our journey. The mausoleum there that has some really funky stuff in it. And also points us very neatly towards the Grand High Mushroom. I'm going to be a little bit cheeky with avoiding conflict, but just because, you know, in the words of Shadow the Hedgehog, I have somewhere to be. Oh, but we can stop and pick up a quick delusion on the way, you know. Wait. I'll tell you, doing this jumping puzzle as a wizard was surprisingly tricky. Wizards aren't built for this. Boosh. They are built for that. But thieves are. Oh, lovely. A little bit of protection does not hurt. Right now, most of the stuff we get doesn't do us anything in the way of debuffs. So, like, if you're very, very stealthy and you wear like a little chainmail hood like we are now, it doesn't debuff your stealth, which I quite appreciate. You know, again, this is a game about stories more than it is about min-maxing. And again, that's not a diss on the Soulsian style. I'm actually one of the last people on the internet to start playing Elden Ring. I haven't even finished it yet. I know, but don't judge me. Streaming's a funny business, and everyone else were getting into it so wholeheartedly that I felt I'd already been left behind. I'm going to stab a Zorb in the butt. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I mean, I guess that's the most tepid of takes I could present to you. Turns out, Elden Ring good. And it's one of the more forgiving of the titles, but again, like, you do have to think about, like, stats equals function. Combat is the means by which you express yourself in that world, and be it through magic, be it through, you know, some kind of nonsense-flavoured dex build. Okay. There's no secret around this way. Sorry, I'm looking for what Waymaster said. There was another way in. I think that would definitely suit us better. I mean, I'm pretty sure that, you know, if we were patient and careful and took our time, especially with our stealth abilities, we could probably, like, shimmy our way through this with little to no interruption, but I'm just acutely aware that I don't have your time indefinitely, friends. And there is a wobbly noggin to get to. Okay, so that was where we walked in the front. That'll obviously be the contraption that gets us back up there. Let's see if this does us. Aha! Traps for days. Traps for days. And the traps here are no joke. I've lost my fees more times than I care to count. But yeah, no, again, I don't mean any disrespect to other titles. That's not why I highlight it. It's that, you know, this game is about it. This is a story game first and foremost. You know what I mean? Oh, cool. Haunting little workshop. Love that for us. We did get another delusion. How do we get through this? Seems to be a blood ritual altar. Something strange is afoot for sure. Oh shit! Broke our first lockpick in hours. And our second. And our third. There we go. We'd struggle on a 4 that hard, but it is what it is. I think the other thing that I love about this game so much is once you embrace it for what it is, once you just kind of let its own flavour of fantasy bizarrity wash over you, I love it. And I'm not saying I understand it, right? I don't know all the players. I don't know all the plot beats. But I'm enjoying it. Like, I feel I could explore it with... Ooh. Oh, I might go through a few picks here. There we go! Super sneaky. But, like, I feel like I get it. You know, when the gods still ruled, people had to be fed to the scry shrooms to grow them. Was that something that needed to be done, or was it some kind of dark curse imposed upon them by the gods? Is the Union correct for putting down these old creatures? What in the System Shock 2 is this? Well, it's definitely one of the farmers. Just grabbing our loot in case we have to make a fecking run for it afterwards, you know what I mean? First rule of good thieving. Always have a way out. Oh, and a modest treasure. That's how I describe myself at parties. But like the body horror of it all, especially when encountering the gods, definitely speaks volumes. Like I said, I don't know, but I'm definitely fascinated. The nauseated stench of bile engulfs the flesh chamber before you. A huge digestion tract pulsates and throbs with corrosive acid. It would seem as though the mushroom has organs. Lud writhes beneath the digestive membrane, clearly in agony when he sees you. He looks shocked. You! Alright. Who did this to you? Nobody! A look of determination seizes Lud. Everyone assumes I'm just some stupid kid. The idiot mayor's son, but they don't take me seriously. But I'll show them. I'm worth something. I can save the village all by myself. I don't know why he's now a street urchin. Don't worry, just go with it. I found the old Wiccan contract rights. I stashed in my mother's basement. I convinced him here to set me up. But it was me who whispered to Anguine, who felt the reply echo through my bones. Alright, villager's not... I admire your guts, at least. Plywell is dying. Everyone says so. And since Angie Gwynn was killed. I just assume the kid can't pronounce it. The soil's been drying up. That's another generation and there'll be nothing left. This is the only way to save the village. Alright, some towns dry up. It's just the way it is. It's easy for you to say, not from being from here. Bly was the only place I've ever known. I wouldn't survive out from anywhere else. What with me being a tiny chipper orchard? Okay. You don't. Alright. You don't know that. Skyrim's full of impossible places. Failed. I don't care about other places. I only have one home, and it's Blywall. As this character slowly turns into Pinky. From Pinky in the Brain. Alright. Enough of this. You slice through the membrane, and a torrent of foul-smelling acid pours forth. Lud slides out the muck, coughing and spluttering. You had no right! He shivers. The first thing I've done truly by myself, and you ruined it! You had no right! Alright. People care about your kid. You can't throw your life away. I thought Mother would be proud! The boy shivers and says no more. Alright. Shivers and says no more. But yeah, the difference between, like, the Inquisition's, like, cold, hard, rusting metal, and the gods, well, wet. This definitely paints a twisted picture of signs. Okay. Fucking view. It's just, I know I've said this probably multiple times so throughout this evening, but the combination of the alien and the surreal, the juxtaposition of colour and designs, and yet somehow familiar in this, by the very virtue of giving us a sword, the very virtue of giving us a quest and a mission. I don't know. I find myself looking out between the islands quite a lot when I play this. And I actively have to focus on what we're doing, lest one, I don't get to show you the Wobbly Noggin pub, and two, we don't have to. Get effect. Boop. Free knives from a frog. Don't even worry about it. The old Kermit tea special. Okay, so that's... Alright, that's big mausoleum that we checked out, which means that the elevator up is up this way. Okay. And yeah, the thing that actually surprises me is that once you get to know this, it is actually pretty easy to navigate. You'd think with all the confusing mushrooms and bright colours that it would be a headache to try and remember where you are, but it's actually pretty fucking easy. You know. That's where I need to be. Kind of based on the nature of the fact that it's so memorable. Do I have to hop across the mushrooms? Oh, don't be gross. Guy just spits bees at people. Who wakes up one day and is like, you know what? I'm gonna spit bees at people. Oh, it's around the ready corner. Okay. I do like that's the name for this adventure. Will Overguard and the quest for the Wobbly Noggin. But no, I'm trying to think of, like, what else I haven't shown you so far on this. You know, I hope I've done a good job highlighting all the things that really make this into something special and unique. You know, this isn't a story like one you've played prior. And the Morrowind comparisons only go so far, you know? So yeah, let's... To every fibre of my being wants to unleash the rotten onions, but time is not our friend, so we're going to... Oh wait, is it night time? No, everything's closed. Alright, well we'll have a nap until daytime. We've got the cash to pay for tourism services. See what we got for sale. Oh, compass. Why not buy that? You know what? I'll buy a couple of cups of the Shry tea. Can have that later. And we shall rent a room. Right, we've honestly made this guy a buttload of money. Probably why he hasn't had us stabbed in our sleep for asking questions. Okay. As we hit the area, we must have come on in just at, like, nightfall. But yeah, what I'd love to do, if I had more time, is to unleash the rotten onions and just see what devastation they wrought. But the path to the pub requires us to play the role of Inquisitor a little bit more. Alright, so guess who? I visited the sacred room and I discovered what's going on. Well, as was right. Was there a sacrifice taking place? It was Lud. He tried to sacrifice himself, but I managed to talk him down. Cool, which god? That foolish boy! Harvest ain't worth Angwin's blood price, innit? Haven't I always taught him that? But it looks like you stopped in, newcomer, and for that you have my sincerest thanks. It's not much, but just as I promised. Here, take a Union passport. It'll get you through the Great Bridge to the south, leading to Allowshire. But be careful down there, mind. You think Plywall's harvests are bad, you ain't seen nothing yet. Allowshire's in the midst of an awful famine, and it seems like the townsfolk are out. Poor Lud have a certain ideas in common. Alright, well, thank you, strange Yorkshire wayman. We got a pub to get to. Let's fucking go! I think I've done well, though. I haven't been too distracted by, you know, these gorgeous views and the mysteries they put forth. What the feck is over there? What's up with the four-winged dragon? Who the feck is that up there? Thankfully, we can't get to whatever that is right now. So we just give this tingle-looking Mother Hubbard our passport, and we can continue. Greetings! Bridge is closed unless you are the bearer of a genuine Union passport. So if you've not got one, get lost. We've got a passport right here. Ah! Alright, seals look good. Not seeing any signs of magical forgery. Yeah, alright, looks like you can pass. Okay. So, as I have been the one getting us here, do you all know what you want to drink? So if we pop on in, like, I was thinking about maybe getting, you know, just a lager or something, like nothing too heavy. You know, I've been drinking a lot this week. Although a well gin wouldn't go amiss. You know, good and affordable. Don't see me, run away! No! Wow, wow, wow! Go home, moths. Aha! Take that. By the power of door. See what I mean? Look, what mysteries lie there? What strange stuff is ahead? This way to Hallowtown. Just so you know, Moth, in another time I wouldn't be lightfoot stepping my way past you. Like, these are mountains to explore. Like, there's the little bridge up and down. I heard something that sounded like a feckin' train engine, which is probably like remnants of the Clockwork Empire that have been slowly moving forward. Like, what's that right here? Where does this lead? Is this the way we're supposed to go? I don't feckin' know! Although, by the soundtrack, I think we've come to the right place. In one of the earlier builds... Ah, okay, here we go. Sup, Ghost? Hallowshire's fields used to be sown with wicked seed, for their deities, though diminished, could ensure a good harvest. The god contracts were modest. The blood price was equitable. Just give us a couple of kids, not all the kids. You could spare some children. Of course, the Union sniffed it out eventually. They sent over that polymath. and her retinue to stamp out any smouldering divinity that now, and now the common folk starve, their fields barren and desolate. The Union claim it's the name of reason and progress. She lets out a discontent sigh. I'll admit, those old Wiccan contracts can be deceitful. Many don't realise the weight of their signature until the curse sets in. But the Union would smother the Sky Realms in the tangle of bureaucracy until we worship naught but the deadlines shipping manifests. Their only saving grace is their honesty, for at least the people know that they are trampled upon. So what about you, stranger? Would you rather be enveloped into a sweetened lie, blissful in your ignorance, or would you choose the bitter truth? Everyone deserves to know the truth. She smiles wryly. But could we ever know the truth? For certain. Perhaps we are all but actors in another's dream, destined to be forgotten with the morning light. If the Union discovered it was thus, and wrote it all in their books, would we be enlightened or just more lost? Okay, bye, ghost. Do you want a pint? Here we go! God. What would I told you if I wanted to go get a pint in the skull of a dead god? But rather than it being called, like, Titan's Bane or Slain Crown or something like that, it's called the Wobbly Noggin. I put forth, and at some point I will have to back up my findings, I put forth that the Wobbly Noggin is one of the best pubs in video games. And we have quested, and we have fought, and we have battled, and we have arrived. Excuse me, Sir Knight? Sir Knight! Okay, the Knight does not want to talk to us. But here we are. And you could argue that this is where our adventure will truly begin. The sellsword that we will speak to will tell us of the different individuals from the Darkstar mercenaries, their quirks, their locations, where they are spread across the lands, how we might go about finding Vela. Will it be able to explore the city, get into mischief and crime? And I'm not saying that there is an underground illegal smuggling ring of cool kids, assassins, and operators, because if I said that, I'd be breaking the first rule of Cool Kid Crime Club, which is you don't talk about where the Cool Kid Crime Club hangout spot is. That would be bad. But there's so much to this. So yeah, as we come up upon the 2-hour mark, I think this is a good place to bring our adventures to a close. I really sincerely hope that what I've shown you has given you a little taste of why Dread Delusion is so special. You know, why I have this enthusiasm and fervour for it. And, you know, why it's worth experiencing this acid pink sky in all its glory. Someone told me that a good story is about stakes. Personal stakes in a fantastic world, and I think this is definitely the case. Desperate to find out where this story takes us. I'm desperate to find out what adventures await us ahead. But that will have to wait for another time. So, again, if you've got any questions about the game, please, please, please reach out to the folks over at Dread XP or at Lovely Hellplace. If none of them are about, you can ask my dumbass and I will do my very best to answer. I will personally be streaming this in the future at some point. I don't think I need to explain why, because it's fucking cool! God, there's so much we haven't seen yet! So much we haven't seen yet. If my little demonstration today was the first time you've seen this, please, please, please give it a follow, give it a wish list. You know, that will absolutely help the devs, and it doesn't cost you a penny. And if you do end up picking this up, have a great fucking time with it. Like I was saying, this isn't a game of stats, this is a game of stories. And I hope that whatever tale you tell across the Sky Islands, across these like shattered neon shards, will be one that you keep with you. The kind of story you tell people about after the game is over, you know? I don't know. I guess I'm just gushing at this point. I just really like this. And if you get the chance to play this in the future, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do as well. So yeah. Friends, warriors, the downtrodden of the Inquisition, and secret Wiccans. Thank you so much for watching our little trundle through of Dread Delusion. It's been feckin' good. And yeah, I hope you have yourself an excellent time with it. To be continued.